Welcome to a special edition of Talkin' Tunes. I am your host, Frank Walsh. Thanks for tuning in today. Now, this is a very special show because I have a very special guest. And we are not here just to talk a little bit about music. You can see from the way that he's dressed, he is a big, avid football fan. And I read something in the paper and heard a little something on the news about a big football game coming up this Sunday, and I'm sure that this guy has an opinion. Now, this guy is world known, international favorite, and is considered the preeminent harmonica player of our generation. I'm proud to have known him for a number of years, to hung around with him for a few times. And this is a guy who has more opinions than you could ever imagine. And I am sure that you are going to hear one or two of them today. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you the great Mr. Jason Ricci. Jason, welcome aboard, man. Thanks for wanting to do this.
Oh, I did want to. Yes,
I
thank you,
know.
Frank. You're a very entertaining cat yourself, bro.
Well, I appreciate that. I hang around with good people like you, and I think it gets contagious. You can't help but smile,
Right
man.
back at you, bro. Right back
I
at
tell you, we have so much fun. I mean, it was so good catching up with you back at John Hall's Marshfield Fair back in the day a
you.
couple
Yeah.
of months ago. And, rather than waste a little time chit-chatting about us, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on with you. I know that, this COVID stuff and this music stuff has really taken a hit.
Yeah.
And I know that you had posted that you canceled a lot of gigs where you had to do some traveling and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
you have a lot of irons in the fire. I'm sure you're not starving, and I'm not sure you're not sitting on your hands. So just give a couple of seconds of what's been going on with you and your music scene.
Yeah, so it just got hard to tour with like we'd get off the plane and by the time we got off the plane, like one or two of the shows had already canceled, like even in Florida.
Right,
And we had people flying home in the middle of the tours because they thought they might have been around somebody that had COVID
right,
and then their names on the bill and it was just financially like unfeasible, right? So
right,
like rather than risk it and continue to go out like in an environment that's totally unpredictable and like say no to jobs here in town, say no to
right,
students that I'm working with,
right,
and then get out there and then have nothing happen or have not as much happen as we had planned. Just
right,
decided to just give it a break for a few months and see what happens, right?
right,
Just yeah. So I'm lucky, like you said, I got a good YouTube channel where I do instruction
yep,
that creates a fair amount of revenue
yep,
to keep the house going, the food in
yep,
the fridge, and then the lessons are just butter on a biscuit. And I still playing regionally, like
right,
Houston, Alabama, obviously New Orleans,
right,
everywhere else, right?
right. How's the scene down there? Was it still lively down there? I mean, the
It's
bars and
amazing.
everything's
It's
still lively?
still yeah, it's really come back recently.
Really?
We were slow to come back because for the how it is. Like
Right,
we were one of them cities that was very cautious. And
right,
so it took a minute, but right now it's pretty close to full force. The attendance at shows is still way down. Way down.
right.
Even
Now,
for
is
the
that because of
biggest.
the lack of tourists, not many people touring there or what?
No, no. On Frenchman Street and Bourbon Street and in the quarter, it's booming. There's tons
Really?
of tourism. I'm talking about at the real music venues here in New
Okay.
Orleans. Attendance is down, right?
Right.
So, but I think after Jazz Fest and French Quarter Fest and a couple of good parties, with hopefully not a lot of reporting,
Right. Right.
yeah, that will be back in force here.
Right. And you still got some things coming up, before we jump into the sports scene. You got some things coming up, man. You have a number of CDs out there, and I tell you, folks,
Yeah,
if you wanna hear some great music, check out Jason Ricci. He's got some phenomenal people behind him who he plays with. And
yeah.
you got anything going on in the studio? Got any new music coming out?
Yeah, well, I mean, this just dropped
That
like
just dropped, right? I got
last
a
year.
copy of that.
This is like a jazz album,
Yep.
jazz funk, like funk. There's some blues on it. There's a few blues songs on it, but
Right.
it's mostly New Orleans kind of vibe music
Right.
with a B3 player named Joe Crown who was with Gatemouth for 17 years, and actually lived in Boston for a little while. Played with Michelle Wilson.
Evil gal.
Yeah, evil gal. And he's now Kenny Wayne Shepherd's piano and organist. But when
Right.
he's off, we did this. The album is in the top 10 on every single blues chart in the world right now. And it's 4 months old and it's still up there, right?
Well, I've heard it,
Really,
man.
yeah, we're
I've
very
heard it.
proud of it.
I've heard it. I'm on my playlist, and
Thank you, bro. Thank
you
you.
hang. I got all your CDs, and I hang around. You hang around with some great people, and well, can't wait to and hear your music, and hopefully when you put that tour together, I know you're trying to throw something together with Kenny Wayne, and you got a lot of good people.
Oh,
JJ Appleton, who you were talking with.
yeah,
and
no, I'm not going to tour with Kenny Wayne.
you
Joe's
know,
on tour with Kenny Wayne.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, okay.
Yeah.
But you got something going on with your bad kind, and hopefully you'll get back here at the East. I know you play Chans a lot. Hopefully we'll get you back at the festival.
Man. Yeah, I was talking to John Hall the other day. Yeah, he was asking if I could come up, and I think he's a little bummed on me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but it's all right. I'll be back. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. But when I turned on the screen and you came on, and I looked right at you and I said, "Who dat?
Yeah, we that.
Who dat?"
We
Now
that.
you are a who dat, Jason. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about being the football fan that you are. I know that you are a huge Drew Brees Saints fan, and what's going on with football down there. First of all, what happened to the Saints?
Okay. First, let me address why I'm a Saints fan just really quick.
Go for
Okay,
it.
so I'm from Maine, so
Yes,
that's
you
going to
are.
piss off a lot of Pats fans. The thing is, I didn't grow up loving football. I grew up in a family that loved football, and I rebelled against that. Okay, you're right. Now, when I moved here in 2010, the Saints had just won the championship. So, like so many people, I jumped on the bandwagon.
Yep.
Not because they won, but because what that win did for the city. I
Yep.
could see it, especially post Katrina. Okay, I could see a difference in the behavior and the attitude and the togetherness and the love,
Yep.
right? And that made me fall in love with football. So my introduction to football was through the Saints. That's why I'm a Saints fan, because I was born in Maine, but I don't have two teams. I don't have an AFC team. I don't believe in two teams, right? I don't believe in that. Okay. I tried to root for the Pats 1 year because the past 12 years with the Saints have been nothing but heartbreak. I mean, there's been winning seasons, but you've
Right.
seen those playoff losses. And of course, what happened in 2019 with the Rams and the Vinovich no call, right? You've
Yep.
seen what we've been through, right? So I'm way past bandwagon now. And I've already been hazed. I've already been hazed by my own fan base trying to come into this in 2010. They were like, they didn't want me, right? And that's why I'm happy to be a Saints fan. And that we're going to talk about that whole bandwagon thing a lot today. Yeah.
I told you I'm just going to do the introduction. And
What
sit
was the
back and look
question?
at
I forgot the question already.
I remember that time we were hanging out, you, me, and Vinny Serino, and we were watching the Patriots and the Saints in the playoffs, getting in the playoff game, and I still have that video of you when they came back and they ended up losing at the end, and you falling on the floor. You falling on the floor when the Patriots beat that to get into the playoffs in one of the playoff games with the Saints.
This is why this is why you can't have two teams. If you have two teams, eventually are we allowed to swear in the air, or should I keep that?
You keep it low.
All right, I'll keep it low. Because the other team will eventually screw your team.
That's true.
I don't care if it's in the same conference or not. But having two teams in the same conference is ridiculous. Having two teams in the same division is ignorant. But having two teams in separate conferences is bad also. That's bad also. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. I am a
thought you were gonna come on to
monogamist.
I thought you were going to come on and speak freely. I mean, why are you holding back, Jason?
Bro, I haven't even started yet.
I know
Wait
you're
till
not.
I get onto these Bengals fans, man.
I know
I've
you're
had it
not.
with them. I've had
I
it.
know. I know. Before we jump on that, what do you think of the Tom Brady deal? Tom Brady going to Tampa, winning the Super Bowl, retiring. What's your take on all that?
I'll be honest, and I'm not a Pats fan again. I
I
wish he had
understand.
had. I don't know what happened over there with Kraft and Belichick. I'm not
I
gonna
don't think anybody knows.
I'm not gonna pretend I do, but it would have been class to go back and retire to in New England. All right, and that organization over there in Tampa is nothing but trash. Bruce Arians hitting players, making them play injured. Okay, you got all that. It's a trash organization. The Bucks are one of the worst organizations, and talk about bandwagons. There, you didn't see any Bucks fans until 2 years ago. Right now, all
Oh
of a
yeah.
sudden they're everywhere. Right? Yeah. Now they will watch next year when Tom Brady's not there, when Gronkowski's not there, when Mike Evans isn't there. We'll see when Leonard Fournette isn't there. We'll see how many Bucks fans are out there repping their team next year. Zero, baby.
I'm
But
with you on that.
what happened with the Saints this year? That was the question.
There you go.
Excellence, excellence. Success is not defined upon your accomplishment. Success is defined by how you achieve any accomplishment despite the setbacks. Look at what we had. Most players out from COVID at all. Okay, we all of that, right? We had our coach out for a game. We were on our fourth quarterback, but we had the number 2 defense in the league almost every week, right? A couple of times we dropped down to 3, 4, whatever, but we were number 2 in regular season. We swept Tom Brady and the Bucks for the 7th regular season game in a row, right? He has never beaten the Saints in the regular season. He beat us one time when Drew came back with like 22 broken ribs and had a heart attack and skull fractured and everything else, right? Yeah,
Right.
that's the only time he's ever beat us.
Wow. So, what do you think about this game coming up on Sunday? I know you have some opinions on that, and I asked
What
you
do you
about
think?
it.
What do you think? Are
I think,
you're probably rooting for the for the Rams, right? Because they're
uh,
an NFC team, right?
well, I'm kind of impartial on that. I mean, I look at it, I look at it on both sides. I think if I look at it on paper, I like the Rams. I like their defense. I like the way in which they've been playing. Plus, they're playing in their own backyard,
It's
which I
true.
think is going to be a plus. And I think that that little it factor, like the old cliche team of destiny and all that other kind of stuff. I
Mhm,
just get a feeling that the Rams are going to come out ready to play. I
mhm.
think they're going to have some good moves to take care of their receiver there. I think they're going to have a hard time containing Cusp, and I think it's going to be a good game, though. I think the two quarterbacks, they're top notch. I think it could be a shootout, and I'm probably looking at maybe 28-24, and I'm probably looking at the Rams.
Yeah. I understand that. I understand all that. So
You
here's
know,
where I'm at.
and Burrow's no slouch either.
Oh no, no. Okay, I feel like both these teams earned their spot this year.
Yep.
Okay, so that's nice, right? Because I don't. It's not like somebody slipped in,
Right.
right? Like came in wild card and then had a bunch of sour matchups that got them this far. Okay, like that didn't happen. Okay, so that's nice. Okay, as a Saints fan, right? My initial inclination was to go for the Bengals because they're an AFC team.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I've been a fan long enough, even just since 2010, to see every single NFC team at one time or another, in one way or another, ruin the Saints' chances of making the playoffs or,
Right.
or, or knocking us out. Okay. So I've seen what this conference can do. Okay. So it's real hard for me, especially to pull for the Rams, especially
Understood.
after what happened in 2019. Okay. And then
Understood.
going to the Super Bowl and scoring 3 points against the Pats. That's what they did with the win that they didn't deserve against us. That was decided by this Vinovich character who somehow still has a job. Okay. Ridiculous. Okay. So my natural inclination, especially Joe Burrow's LSU, what I've seen him do for people around here, was to root for the Bengals. And that's where I started. Okay. Let's go with an AFC team. This is what happened after that. I saw all of these people all over Facebook and Instagram and YouTube all of a sudden become Bengals fans out of nowhere. And they're who-daying, like who day, that's what they're saying. Like, no, that's ours.
That's
And
yours.
you've never said that. And then I look back at their previous posts. I do research, man. I stalk football fans, right? I find your weakness and I exploit it and I expose you as the fraud that you are. And there's some real Bengals fans out there, and I'm happy for them, especially after what they've been through year after year after year after year after year. All right, losing the playoffs, right? But these Bengals fans that are now 99% of them, they couldn't even tell you who Andy Dalton is. They couldn't tell you who the coach of their own team is. They couldn't tell you what team AJ Green on, who's Chad Ochocinco. They don't know nothing. They couldn't tell you the nickname of their stadium, right? They couldn't tell you any of that. They're not real fans. And if you look back, most of them were cheering for other teams every year. They're bandwagon fans. They jump on, oh, I'm a Chiefs fan this year. Or the Bills Mafia, right? There's some real Bills fans out there, right? But there's a whole lot of bandwagon Bills baloney, right? So I've become so disgusted with these Bengals fans that I'm actually cheering for the Rams. I'm cheering for the Rams. I know it's wrong. It goes against every fiber of my intellectual being, but I want to see these fans go back to sleep, and the real Bengals fans will be there whether they win or lose. That's all.
Well said. Well said. Well said. So what do you think? Going to be a close game, good game, or what?
Dude, I think the Rams are going to win. That's what I think. I hope they do, right? Like, but I worry about the Detroit Lions curse finding its way through Matt Stafford in the fourth quarter to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Right. That's the one thing that worries me about, both of these guys. They're still, Stafford's been around for a while. Burrows is still new. I just hope that it doesn't come down to like a real, stupid play. At the end, they have a tendency sometimes to get a little stressed. They'll throw the interception. They'll make the bad play, and you can relate to that. It comes down to the end.
There's some ridiculous call or no call.
A bad no call. I just hope that it's a nice, clean game, and it doesn't come down to a head shake at the end and say, "Man, if he only held the ball or didn't make that stupid pass, et cetera, et cetera." I just hope it's a good, clean game. And
bro, me too, man. I mean, more than anything, I think that's what most of us real football fans want. We just don't want some unresolved thing. We want to have a good Sunday.
Right.
We have how many months of a depressing off season after this,
Yep.
Right? We just want to go out feeling like it wasn't rigged, right? Right? I mean, that's what we want, right?
Exactly.
But they're going to say that. They're already saying it. They're already saying because it's at home for the Rams and it was at home last year for the Tampa Bay.
Right.
Sucking ears because they're already saying that it's planned, But let me just tell you, I for all the Tampa fans that are out there, which there are probably none left after this loss this year, but for if any Tampa fans are listening, I just want to say to y'all that you're not our rival. We are in a committed, hateful relationship with the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, so you're not even on our radar. We don't care about your COVID Super Bowl, okay? We don't care about it, right? Your bought Tom Brady Super Bowl, right? We don't care. Yeah. We're fine. We're fine here. Yeah.
Well said.
Who dat for life, bro? We dat. All that. Right here. Yeah.
What's going to be on your coffee table, Jason? What's going to be on the Ricci coffee table while you're watching the game? Down in New Orleans, what are you planning on the menu, man?
We're going to get some king cake. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is put spaghetti in our chili. Okay, that's what the Bengals do. The Cincinnati, they put cinnamon, nutmeg, dark chocolate, and spaghetti in their chili. That's how developmentally disabled these fans are. Okay, that's the problem. So we're going to have some king cake. We'll have red beans and rice, right? We'll have the traditional, amazing food that the city has to offer, and we'll watch the Los Angeles Rams redeem themselves. Right?
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Now, let me ask you a question. Just popped into my head. How can you relate, if so, relate the passion, the intensity that you have with probably every phase of your life, but especially since football for the last few minutes? How can you relate your football passion with your music passion? Is
Well,
there a
I've
parallel there?
actually mixed them. On my last album that I did for a label I won't even mention, we did a song for the Atlanta Falcons, the Bucks, and the Panthers. It's simply titled "F the Falcons."
Right.
Okay, yeah, and so it's a whole song about what I think about the other teams in my division.
And the F is, I'm sure, for friends, right? Like Friends of the Falcons, right?
Hey man, bro, like, hey, I got respect for Falcons fans. That's all I
Right.
can say right now, But I tell you what, though, the closest I am so grateful to New England for the 28-3 or the 25 point lead that was blown
Yeah.
by Atlanta. I will never. I that was one of the best days of my life when you destroyed the Falcons in the Super Bowl.
Wow. Good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Now, as far as people who want to get a hold of you or follow you, or
Yeah.
how can people do that? How can people get your music? How can they find you?
Okay, www.mooncat.org is my website. You can
Yep.
find my music on any major music platform: Amazon, CD Baby, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere. Almost all of my music that's not in legal dispute is available there.
That's
Um,
a show for another time.
Man, I'm telling you, man. Candy Kane said she was an ex porn star
Right.
and a
Right.
blues singer. She said nothing in the porno business prepared me for the sleaze of the music industry.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can get it that way. I'm on Instagram. You can contact me at Jason Ricci 93 right there through Instagram, Facebook. I'm very active on social media. I have a YouTube channel with over 30,000 subscribers.
Yep.
It's mostly just harmonica instruction, but there's
Right.
other things. There's cultural stuff. There's blues stories. There's stuff about addiction and bipolar disorder
Right.
and all kinds of other stuff on the channel. Yeah.
Right. Well, we're going to talk. I should have mentioned up front that this is going to be part one of maybe a two-part. Who knows? We're just going to keep going. And, you have such an interesting background and such an interesting history. And you've had to jump over a few road bumps along the way. And I would love to have you on sometime and kind of talk about that and talk
Sure,
about
man. I
the
mean,
road
we
that
all
you took.
have. We all have. I mean,
We
all of
are.
us have. Yeah, in different ways, right? And
Yeah.
you know, I'd love to. I'd love to hear about you too.
Well, we can
Yeah.
do that sometime. I've got some challenges too, but I mean, you're a guy who gets listened to. I mean, they're going to listen to you more than they're going to listen to me, and they're going to have the respect.
It's the
But on that note,
pigtails. It's the pigtails.
is that what it is? I mean, look
I'm
at all
doing
the
a
work you've
koala.
done.
I'm trying to do like a koala appropriation here. Yeah.
Well, I have that whole collage of pictures I sent to you one time of everything from your dark hair to short hair to no hair to where you came.
Crazy,
But
man. I get bored easy. Yeah.
I don't. We
But
have a
not for
couple of
long.
minutes left, Before we get bored, I mean, you have a little something that you can blow into for a couple of seconds, man. Give us a little taste. Wow. And that ain't all. Now, is that off the top of your head? Did you just pull that off the top of your head, or is that something that you just kind of no?
Yeah, other than the Saints go marching in, but everything else, I didn't even know I was going to go into that, right?
You'd
But
blow it
man,
off the top of
just
your head.
the
And again,
who dat, the
these are
who
the
dat
kinds,
spirit runs deep, bro.
these are
You
the
don't
kinds of
pick
things
your
that,
team. Your team picks you, bro. That's
these
what
are the
that.
kind of things I want to talk about with another show. But first of all, Jason, we only have a couple of minutes left, and as always, we could talk forever, man. And I could listen forever too. So I definitely want to thank you for coming on today.
I want to
And
shout out to all the real Pats fans. Look,
yeah,
yeah, you guys have stuck around after this Brady thing. Respect to all the real Pats fans. Respect to Coach Bill Belichick. All right, respect to New England. Respect to Chowder. Respect to lobsters that are not cooked in crab boil, but still, who dat for life. That's it.
all
Sorry,
right. Well,
sorry.
I can't top that. The only thing I can say once again, Jason, is thanks for coming on, and we wouldn't be able to do this without having Dave Young and Robert Teller back in the studio pushing the buttons. And
Thanks,
they
guys.
came on and said, try to make us look pretty, but I told them they didn't have enough time for that.
I need makeup. Yeah.
you know. So, well, listen, Jason, you take care of yourself. I think we'll definitely touch base.
That's right.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
the quiet storm. Marcus Colston. Yeah, baby.
Enjoy your game. Enjoyed all your food.
Thanks,
And
man.
say hi to Caitlin and give her a big hug for us.
I will. I will.
So,
Right. Yeah. She's a New Englander.
so until the next time, I am Frank Walsh along with Jason Ricci. Folks, thanks for tuning in today. And as always, we will see you down the road.
Thank you, everybody at home.